Hello, I'm Andrew Sinclair. First tonight, more criticism of the plans for an elected mayor for East Anglia, which was announced by the Chancellor in his budget last month. The deal would bring together Norfolk, Suffolk and Cambridgeshire with new powers devolved from Whitehall. But today, the government spending watchdog said the proposals were complex and untested. And tonight, one of the leading advocates of devolution described the process as a shambles and said continued opposition could kill the deal. This from our chief reporter, Kim Riley.
Last autumn, council and business leaders from Norfolk and Suffolk went to Whitehall, lobbying for a bigger say in running their affairs. The government wanted Cambridgeshire involved too. In February, Lord Heseltine, overseeing the devolution programme, was hoping to persuade all 23 councils in the 3 counties to climb aboard. In the event, Cambridgeshire County Council joined Cambridge City in breaking ranks.
Please sit down.
A heated meeting of Norfolk County councillors this month revealed deep unhappiness among all parties, though members voted to keep talking. The Labour leader George Nobbs has been a passionate supporter of devolution, but with objections brushed aside by the government, he fears the plans are heading for the rocks.
I believed in this all my life. I'm passionate about devolution. Quite clearly, they are not prepared to budge. They're not prepared to budge on elected mayor. They're not even prepared to budge on the name of the mayor. They insist on it being done in 2 months. They insist on a consultation in August of all months.
With fresh criticism today from the National Audit Office, the much vaunted East Anglian powerhouse agreement is no done deal. Kim Riley, BBC Look East.
Well, support for devolution appears to be strongest in Suffolk. Earlier this evening, I spoke to Colin Noble, the leader of Suffolk County Council, who helped negotiate the deal. And I asked him how much trouble he thinks it's now in.
Well, we're all still talking, and I think that's the main thing. We're having lots and lots of meetings, discussing different aspects of it. And for most of us, I think it's trying to explore the detail of it. And that's what we're doing at the moment.
George Nobbs today called this a shambles, and he said this evening that this is being imposed from above, not bottom up, and that, he says, isn't devolution. Do you agree with any of that?
What is bottom up is the fact that we're sitting down and talking about what the detail of things are, how the governance arrangements will work. But I think George is absolutely right. The government is very clear that they wish to see an elected mayor, and they want to see Norfolk, Suffolk and Cambridgeshire come together in East Anglia.
And is this elected mayor non-negotiable?
Well, that's certainly the impression we get from government. Every time we ask the question, they're very clear that if we're going to transfer those powers from Whitehall to East Anglia, then what they want to see is somebody stand up and be elected and democratically responsible to the people of East Anglia.
But this seems to be the main sticking point. Lots of local people seem to be making it clear that they don't want an elected mayor. If we made that clear to government and government would listen and perhaps relent on that, this may yet happen.
I think we will always make the point around that, is it necessarily the right way about going about it? But government is very clear that they want one person to be directly elected, to be responsible for the powers that they devolve from Whitehall to the local area.
But they're not listening to local concerns.
I think there's a lot of public engagement to come. I think there's going to be a lot more consultation before we get there. And I think through that process, I hope government will listen to what we're saying.
The clock is ticking. The government wants an agreement by the end of July. Is that still doable?
Is it doable? I believe it is doable. But I do think that even when we've made those decisions, I think then the real task is about going out and explaining to people what it really means to be able to make those very local decisions at the local level.
Mr. Noble, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew.